Okay, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at author's perspective. So the objective of the lesson is to explain how authors use reasons and evidence to support their opinion. But today we're switching up the word opinion. We're going to be looking at perspective. So when we're talking about perspective, we want to think about what an author thinks and feels about a topic. Okay, and so we've already read some text in the past about an author's opinion. For example, we just finished reading Why Elephants Do Not Belong in Zoos. Okay, so what was the author's perspective about elephants in zoos?
The zoos are bad.
They're bad in general?
For elephants.
They're bad for elephants. Okay, so why are they? What's some of the reasons that the author provided?
A reason that the author provided is that elephants roam 30 miles per day, and if they can't roam that land, then they could go into depression.
Okay, and so he had some evidence, right, that suggested, or I guess that explained why, or I guess supported why elephants go into depression. So what are some pieces of evidence that he provided? So what are some signs that they're depressed? Go ahead.
The signs that some people notice that animals walk back and forth. Some animals lick their paws and hit their heads in the water.
Okay, good. So that was one of the reasons, right? And that was some evidence. Are there some other reasons why elephants don't belong in zoos? Okay.
It's a zoo. They can't exactly put the temperature that elephant really needs. It's supposed to be warm since they live in the safari.
Okay, and so there was an example of a place, right, where it was really snowy and the elephant just couldn't get acclimated to the temperature, and so ended up passing away, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys think about zoos? How does that shape your opinion? Go ahead.
That makes me feel sad.
Makes you feel upset, sad?
In my opinion, it makes me feel upset that zoos can't really clarify for what an elephant needs.
So they can't provide like the support that it actually needs? Okay, good. What about you? What do you think?
I feel like sad because zoos are good for animals, but not like mostly all the animals that live outside that are wild.
Okay, so I'm assuming your opinion is that wild animals don't belong in zoos.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be taking a look at another article. Okay, we'll take a look at author's perspective. And so, as you guys know, we're headed to the Chaffee Zoo, okay, in a couple of days. And so I want you guys to be thinking about, what we read and what we're going to be reading when you're, visiting the zoo later on, okay? So if you flip over your article, there's a new text that you have, okay? So can someone read to me the title? What does the title say?
Why we need zoos.
Why we need zoos. So right off the bat, what do you think the author's perspective might be? Okay? What do you think the author's perspective might be? Anybody? Go ahead.
I think that in this passage, it says why we need zoos, and the word why kind of gives you a hint that the author feels like it's going to be a positive perspective.
Yeah, a positive perspective. Okay, so I'm glad that you said that. So I have a sentence frame here that says the author has a negative/positive perspective. So you can use one of these, okay? One of these words to describe the perspective of an author. Now, if it's a negative perspective, what do you guys think? Does that mean he has a positive or a good perspective, or maybe he has a bad vision of a zoo? What do you guys think? Negative. Would that be? What do you think?
No.
Like he wouldn't like them, right?
He or she.
A positive perspective, that would be that he
Likes them.
That he likes the zoo, right? Okay, good. So we're going to be taking a look at that. All right, guys. So when you're reading this passage, I want you guys to read it as a partner. Since there's three right here, you guys can read it together. You two can read it, and then I'll be listening in when you're reading. But while you're reading it, guys, I want you to be thinking about, okay, what's the author's perspective? Does he provide an opinion? Okay, and if he does have an opinion, how does he use evidence and reasons to support that opinion? Okay, all right. So, does everybody understand what they're doing?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and begin reading with your partners. Oh, go ahead before we start.
Do we need to use plain text structure?
We won't be using, or we won't be finding text structure right now. Okay, go ahead and read, guys.
Yeah, I can read this. What do you imagine when you're in a zoo? Do you usually place the animals in cages?
What about an area where animals roam in the open? Today, many zoos include open spaces that resemble an animal's natural habitat or surroundings.
spaces
provide excellent care for their animals. Most zookeepers are very good at their job. They feed the animals and make sure they get exercise. They also
very good at their jobs. They feed the animals and make sure they get exercise. There are also doctors on site to help animals who are sick or injured.
Zoos also protect animals that are in danger or at risk of dying. Animals are removed from areas where they may starve or be hunted. They are taken to zoos for their health and safety. Zookeepers may find mates to help protect the species.
Some zoos don't keep animals their whole life. Instead, they look after them for a time, then release them back into the wild. When they are ready to live on their own, we need zoos to help protect animals and improve their lives.
Release
them back into the wild. They are ready to live on their own. We need zoos to help protect animals and improve their
I
lives.
can tell that the author...
Okay, so did you guys? Okay, so I'm assuming everybody finished reading.
Yes.
Now with your same group, okay, I want you to think about that. So think about what is the author's perspective on zoos. Okay, is it a negative perspective? Is it a positive perspective? What opinion does the author have? Okay, and then think about what are the reasons that he has provided in his article that supports his opinion. Okay, so I want you guys to be thinking about that. I'm going to give you guys about a minute to discuss that with your partner. Okay? All right, go for it. So what do you guys think?
I think
The author has a positive
I think it's positive.
because
Also a positive
it says
perspective?
that
Okay. So, Leo, what's the author's opinion?
where is it?
What do you believe it
That
is?
zoos protect animals are endangered.
Animals should be in zoos.
The animals should be in zoos? Okay.
The author has a
So
perspective.
why do you guys think they should be in zoos? Or why do you guys think animals should be in zoos, according to the text?
One reason is that zoos provide excellent care for their animals.
Okay. Good.
Another
Did you guys find any reasons?
Sick or injured.
Yeah. What are some of the reasons that
I
the author
also
provides?
think that the author's perspective is
And
going
they
to
don't
be a
keep the
positive
animals
one
for long. They
because
just keep them
it says that
when they're
zoos
old enough
also
to-
protect animals that are
they
in
take them out to
danger
the wild
or
and they get
at
They
risk
also improve their
of
lives.
dying out.
Good. Okay. Okay, guys. So, in this text, let's go ahead and put a show what we understand from it. So, in why we need zoos, what's the author's perspective? What do you guys think? Go ahead.
I think the author has a positive perspective on why we need zoos because in the passage it says that zoos provide excellent care and zookeepers are very good at their jobs.
Okay, so that's one thing. So with your pink highlighter, guys, we're going to highlight because that's a reason. Okay, that's one of the reasons that the author provides. So zoos provide excellent care for their animals. Okay, good. So we found one reason. Can we find another reason on why the author believes that zoos are actually a good place? Go ahead.
We need zoos to help protect animals and improve their lives.
That part is on paragraph
4.
4.
That's
end.
one. Last sentence.
There we go. Good. Is there another reason that the author includes in here to support their opinion? Go ahead.
The zookeepers may find them. Let me find them. There are also doctors on site to help animals who are sick or injured.
Good.
Where is that one?
All right. Anything else? So I noticed that we haven't gotten anything from paragraph 3. Can you find something from paragraph 3, Allison?
Zookeepers may find them myths to help protect these species.
Oh, good. Okay, so they find them. Well, let's think about that one real quick. Okay, so you said zookeepers may find them mates to help protect species, but what's the overall opinion or the overall reason for that? Okay, so that's not necessarily a reason. That would be more of evidence, right? But what's the overall reason? Go ahead.
Would it be zoos also protect the animals that are endangered? Because if they say that zookeepers find them mates, when they mate, they can have a child and it could grow their species.
There you go. So does that make sense, Allison? Okay, so do you remember watching or when we saw the video on the California condors?
Yeah.
Remember they had just like I believe it was like 8 or 9 condors, right? And they used every single condor that they had. They would find them mates so that their population can grow, right? So that's kind of what's happening in that part of the passage. Go ahead, Ash.
Remember that the person that was taking care of the condors said that he would take the eggs to see if the females would lay more eggs.
Right.
So then they could have more.
Yeah,
species.
so that's similar to that's similar what they're explaining here in this part of the passage, right? And even if you take another look at it, it says animals are removed from areas where they may starve or be hunted. Remember? So, so does that remind you of a different text that we read?
Yeah.
Okay, like what?
Apes.
Go ahead.
Apes.
Of Africa.
Apes of Africa.
Yeah, so how does it remind you of that other text? Go ahead.
Apes.
No, yeah, it's fine. So,
Apes and chimpanzees are going down in numbers because people are doing illegal hunting
right.
to get their fur.
Okay, yeah, so illegal hunting is happening. What else is happening?
Their habitat's shrinking.
Right. So why is it shrinking? Do you guys remember?
Because they're building cities.
So do you think that it would be a good idea to maybe have some of those animals that are being illegally hunted, would it be better to keep them safe at a zoo?
I mean, if it's a zoo that's space for them, it'd be a good one, as long as they're not in a small cage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, good. So I kind of noticed that you guys are forming your own opinion now, right? Good, and that's exactly what we should be doing. We want to learn the author's perspective, but we don't just want to see one side of the coin, right? We have to listen to both sides of the story. So that's why we took a look at why elephants should not be in zoos. And so that's why you brought up that they need some more space? So if an elephant had the space, you think it'd be okay to be at a zoo?
It'd be okay.
Yeah.
Probably, right? So if it was in a better habitat or better enclosure.
And
right?
also, that's probably like same things for big cats, because I remember
Right.
when
Like a cheetah.
you said that
Yeah.
a lion roams, I think you said 100 miles per day or per hour. If the zoo has that space, then I feel like it would be a good idea to keep lions, because lions could
Right.
have their species going down in levels. Also, other wild cats.
Good. Yeah. So that that brings us to our point that, again, we got to take a look at different texts, right? Learn different perspectives that out there have on one topic. We got to take a look at their opinion, right? How they use reasons and evidence to support that opinion and make their arguments valid, right? So, again, since we're gonna head out to the zoo, okay? Since we're gonna head out to the zoo in a couple of days, I want you guys to write what you guys think about zoos, okay? I want you guys to go off and write your opinion, okay? Support it with evidence that you found in the text. Use reasons, use details, and I want to see what you guys come up with. When you're finished, you're going to share it with the partner, and then you're going to critique it using our rubric, okay? All right.